This is the new tablet from Huawei, the MatePad Pro, which in fact can be a replacement for your computer. Because it can do something that most laptops don't have, and that's that it has a stylus and much more. I'm going to show you why this tablet is so complete from the moment you get it. It's a new update that came out in 2025. We already had the previous model, but this one has a few changes. And also why I like the PaperMatte version so much. Especially if you're going to be writing, since it won't reflect the sunlight, there will be practically no glare. And also if you use it for drawing and so on, let's do the unboxing. I'll show you what's in the box, why it's so complete. Wow, here it is. This is the 12.2-inch version. The screen is pretty good. I think it's a really good size. And it has near-link technology, which is more advanced than Bluetooth and lets you connect all your Huawei devices together. Let's take it out. And this green color, honestly, is pretty cool. Let's see what else is in here. We have a microfiber cloth to clean it. And like I said, it comes pretty complete because it includes the keyboard. It's a pretty complete keyboard, which also works even if the tablet isn't placed here. Remember that we have near-link technology and it also has its trackpad. Last but not least, the 100-watt charger. It's a fast charging charger. And the cable, which is from regular USB to USB Type-C. There's nothing else in the box. And what do you think if I set up this Huawei tablet and tell you a little more about it? And something people ask is, how do I install Google Apps? If Google is no longer available, many apps are already in the Huawei App Store. Let me show you more. We're getting closer and closer to the point where your tablet can replace your computer. Obviously, it depends on what you want to do, and something that's pretty cool that you won't get on most computers, most laptops, is right off the bat, a dual camera, a front camera, and a rear camera, which by the way is an artificial intelligence camera, a dual camera. And the second is a pen so you can write, because I have the M Pencil, which I'll show you in more detail in a moment, especially with this screen. Especially since this is the PaperMatte edition, making it feel like you're touching real paper. I don't know how to explain it, but more than that, what it's going to do is prevent reflections from the sun, and there won't be any reflections from the lights. And therefore, the screen will always look super good, and it has pretty cool colors. And if you're going to use it in computer mode, so to speak, for work, you can set it in 2 different positions and decide what angle you want. And also, if you don't want to lose your M Pencil, you put it there and that's it, you can take it with you. I like that it's pretty lightweight. And also, as I was saying, we have near-link technology, which is kind of like Bluetooth, but more advanced, exclusive for Huawei devices. And I have this mouse that works with this technology, but you can also connect a keyboard or an external mouse via Bluetooth. So don't worry about that. I'm going to show you all of this to use certain applications. Well, there are people who prefer to use a mouse even though the keyboard has this trackpad. Well, if you like the mouse, if you're a mouse user, you have your mouse, whether it's for work or even for gaming. And here I can choose if I want to link it with near link, so let's turn it on. Look, here it is. Anyway, now I'm using the trackpad, but that's it, it's done. And I have a more complete tablet, more like a computer. And in this case, well, the middle button is used to interact between pages, or as if it were the home button. And that's how you use it. Now, since I want to show you how to use it in daily life, it features the powerful Harmony operating system. We also have the Huawei Store, the app gallery, where nowadays there are already a lot of applications. But what if the app I want isn't there? Well, you can install Google Apps, apps that you would use on Android. There are 2 main ways. Don't worry about apps. First, the app gallery already offers many applications. I want you to look at the screen because I feel like the camera doesn't do it justice, but it looks really good. It feels pretty amazing. And like I said, the lights won't reflect. Well, here we pretty much have the vast majority of popular apps out there. Look, we even have all these from Meta, we have WhatsApp, we have all the apps we use. But, like I said, in case you don't find the app you want, we have Gbox. What Gbox does is that it allows you to download all these apps that are from Android, that are from Google, and through Gbox you can install them. Let's get to the point, how I use a tablet in my daily life. Let's test how well this MatePad Pro Huawei performs so far. The screen is pretty cool, I like it, it has good quality, but this feeling of having paper and not having light reflected is pretty cool. I always write down and jot my ideas on tablets. I like to plan my day to day, so let's do it, let's see how it goes and I'll tell you about it. I also like to read a little just to clear my mind and start with a furnished mind before getting to work. The truth is, when it comes to writing, I'm pretty surprised. It feels really good. It's something you have to get used to, because if you use another tablet, the technologies are different, for example, the tabs and also the feel. But once you get used to it, it feels really good. Now, a bit of reading, which is also part of my daily routine, and I'll tell you how it goes, especially how it feels on this 12.2-inch screen, which is a pretty ideal size. And something cool is that it's pretty light, it doesn't weigh that much, so let's get to it. Alright, so now how do you use this device to read? I used the Kindle app and in the end I ended up choosing Aurora Store and also Micro G. Basically what they do is let me install Google apps in a more native way, so to speak. Not like Gbox does, which is more like if it simulates being an Android tablet and then transfers it to Huawei. So it's something very technical, but that way I was able to get Kindle and let's see how the reading experience is. Let me tell you a little more, and something I think I hadn't told you yet. You can unlock this tablet with your face, with your own face. You can also use a pattern, you can even use a fingerprint. It's a pretty complete tablet. But anyway, let's start reading and I'll tell you a little more about my experience. Let's go. The truth is that the experience is pretty good. The feeling of the screen, since you don't get any glare, gives you that sensation of having a sheet of paper. I like that it's lightweight and that the screen is pretty big. I used to read on a Kindle, and while its screen is cool, there are now better screens like these. And being able to have an entire book on such a big screen, a 12.2-inch screen, honestly, it's a great experience. So honestly, so far, like the Americans say, I'm really enjoying the experience and I'm going to tell you honestly how I use it in my day-to-day life. I enjoy using the tablet to exercise since I follow routines on it. So, well, that feeling, I guess it's similar with several tablets. But, as my good friend Jimmy would say, let's put it to the test. So let's see how it goes. Alright, we finished working out, had a good shave too, and honestly, it's ideal for consuming content. I already downloaded Netflix, Apple Television, I downloaded all the apps out there for consuming content, but I'm showing you how I use it in my day-to-day life and why. I think it can definitely be a good substitute for a computer for many people. And I'll show you another pretty complete app that I use at work, and I'm sure you and a lot of people use it too. And I think that practically all of us have used Office at some point, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, all the Office applications that in fact you can download from the Huawei App Store. And here you'll have access to all these applications that you probably already use, but they have a cost and certain limitations. If I told you that you can create documents and use them completely free, you wouldn't believe me, would you? It's super easy. When you get a tablet with Huawei, you'll have WPS Office PC, which is basically a complete Office suite, but totally free with Huawei tablets. and with all the features, absolutely all the features. Look, I can create new Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, or even open Excel files. And here I will find all the complete formulas, all the same functions that you will find on a PC. In Office 365, you will have them here in WPS. And the best part is that, as I said, with Huawei, it's completely free. You can make full presentations. Anyway, it's very, very, very complex. It's fully compatible with Office. You can open files here or create one to use in Office. So, well, that's how I use this tablet. Also, the audio is amazing. We have a pretty incredible speaker system. For copyright reasons, I can't show you videos, but here I already have all my main favorite apps for consuming content. There it is. For some reason, I won't play it, but it runs perfectly for me. As I was saying, I already installed Apple Television, and here I can put all my shows. This is great. If you enjoy golf or comedy, I recommend it. Also, as you've already seen, I use it to read and work. Anyway, I think it can definitely be a great substitute, and obviously it all depends on what you're going to use it for. But nowadays there are already quite a few apps, video editors for example, that are very complete. We have Adobe apps, it's already pretty complete. So if you don't need a specific app for Mac or PC that's not yet available on any tablet, as you saw, you can download almost any Android app. Well, I think nowadays you can already use your tablet and you'll have certain advantages. For example, it has two powerful cameras plus a front-facing one. Actually, there are more lenses, but you get the idea. Being able to interact with the screen thanks to your pencil, being able to have a keyboard that you can even detach from the tablet and still keep using the keyboard. You can connect to a mouse via Bluetooth or through New Link. Anyway, I think we've reached that point. We have quite a bit of portability. But I'll read your comments. Tell me, what do you think about this tablet? And do you think it's time to just use a tablet and say goodbye to your computer? If you haven't subscribed, please do. Comment below. I'll read and respond. I'm Andres Nishudo. See you next video. Hugs to all. Goodbye.